Monahan parked in front. Docks to Caulfield. Fire. Scores!
You are about to enter Habs After Dark with Recliner Sports.
Caulfield fires, scores!
You are about to enter Habs After Dark with Recliner Sports.
3, 2, 1, 0.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Habs After Dark. My name is Devin. Stand by for one moment here. Alexa, turn off the basement bedroom lights.
Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. I forgot to set up the lighting. There we go. There's the lighting's better. Yes, welcome to another episode of Habs After Dark. My name is Devin. 2 wins in a row. A victory over the Las Vegas Golden Knights. The Canadiens, for the first time in a while, put together 3 consistent periods of hockey, I thought. We'll talk, obviously, a little bit more about the game as the show goes on, but I thought this was a pretty good performance by the team. I think they were outshot, and in some ways, Vegas carried parts of the game. But I think overall, I think the Canadiens played much, much better than Vegas did, and I think they deserved the victory. I don't think this was one of those situations where they won a game that they didn't deserve to win. I thought it was a solid performance from top to bottom. Samuel Montembeault almost certainly played his best game of the season. It seems like Zachary Bolduc is settling in on the first line. It looks like Slafkovsky is settling in on the second line, and they're having a little bit of chemistry there. I think there's still more to come from Demidov, and I'm still excited for that game where he just sort of blows the doors off things and just sort of takes off and has his coming out party. I'm still looking forward to seeing that. But I think, the first and the second line have looked solid. I don't know that the first line with Bolduc has looked as good as it did with Slafkovsky on it, but certainly Slafkovsky jumping onto the second line has certainly improved the production from that line for sure. So overall, those 2 lines are probably producing together better than they were before. So it's nice to see Bolduc finding his game. It's nice to see Florian Jacki getting into the lineup. Alexander Texier with his first game as a Canadian tonight was fun to watch. And, Matheson with the new contract. Noah Dobson had a decent game as well. I thought there was a pretty solid performance top to bottom. Alors, bienvenue tout le monde à notre émission de Bleu, Blanc, Rouge, Nuit. Je m'appelle Devin. Nous sommes le Recliner Sports. Une victoire des Canadiens de 4-1 contre les Golden Knights de Las Vegas. C'était un des meilleurs matchs, je pense, pour l'équipe de cette année. C'était un match où ils ont joué 3 périodes consistants, un effort constant du début au fin de la match. Il n'y a pas une période ils ont bien joué et une période ils n'ont pas bien joué. Ils ont joué un effort, un match très balancé du début au fin de la match. J'ai beaucoup aimé ce match. Ils ont joué contre une très bonne équipe, une équipe expérimentée, avec beaucoup de vétérans, avec beaucoup d'expérience. Et ils ont joué côté à côté avec eux autres. Ils ont donné tout ce qu'ils pouvaient. Et je pense que c'est un signe de maturité pour l'équipe des Canadiens aujourd'hui. C'est une équipe qui sont en train dans le milieu d'un voyage très difficile contre 3 bonnes équipes. L'équipe à Utah, puis ce soir contre Las Vegas, et demain, cet après-midi contre Las Vegas, et demain après-midi contre l'Avalanche de Colorado. Ça va être un match difficile aussi. Je pense que si on m'avait dit qu'il gagnerait 2 des 3 matchs sur ce voyage, j'aurais été très content. Alors, ils ont déjà fait ça. Alors, demain, ça devient un peu un extra. En anglais, on dirait le gravy ou le icing on the cake, le glace, je ne sais pas comment dire ça en français, mais demain, il joue demain avec le house money. pour rester sur le thème de Las Vegas. Ils ont déjà fait mieux sur cet voyage qu'on aurait espéré. Et s'ils gagnent demain, c'est un voyage spectaculaire. C'est déjà un très bon voyage, mais s'ils gagnent demain, c'est un voyage spectaculaire. So they're going into tomorrow night's game, guys, or tomorrow afternoon's game with playing with house money a little bit. They're heading on what everyone said would be one of their toughest road trips of the season, playing 3 games in 4 nights against 3 games in 5 nights, I guess it is. 3 games in 4 nights, really. Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. 3 games in 4 nights against 3 really solid teams. Colorado, the best, indisputably the best team in the NHL. Las Vegas, a very strong veteran team with a lot of experience who knows how to win hockey games. And, Utah Mammoth at home, a team that has played quite well this year and is sort of trending in an upward direction. And they've won 2 of those games already. So, if somebody had told you that they were going to win 2 out of 3 games on this road trip, I think you would have taken that. You would have been happy with that. And so as they head into the game tomorrow in Colorado, they go in, in a pretty envious position in that, again, I don't think they're going to think that it doesn't matter if they win or lose. But at the end of the day, like I said, they're kind of playing with house money tomorrow in the sense that, they've already accomplished, they've accomplished, I don't want to say that they've accomplished everything they wanted to accomplish, but they've accomplished more than anybody or as much as anybody would have expected them to accomplish on this road trip already. And so tomorrow becomes a bit of a situation where they're playing with house money. Like I said, they're icing on the cake, gravy on the turkey and the mashed potatoes. Tomorrow they can hopefully go in and play a little bit loose and feel comfortable and confident going against the best team in the league, and see how it goes. Maybe they pull off a 3rd straight victory on the road and head home with that under their belt, which would be pretty nice to have as well. So tomorrow afternoon, again, they're back on the ice with Colorado, so I look forward to watching that. So yeah, guys, if you're here, we're going to get into the scoreboard here shortly. But if you have any questions or comments, feel free to fire away. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I don't want to talk at you guys. I want to talk with you guys. So let's get the conversation started. Si vous avez des questions, vous pouvez les donner dans la section des commentaires. J'aimerais bien vous parler, avoir une conversation avec vous, pas seulement moi parler et vous écouter, mais j'aimerais bien que c'est une conversation entre nous. Alors, si vous avez des questions, des commentaires à propos du match de ce soir, de cet après-midi, ou à propos de l'équipe en général, j'aimerais bien les entendre. Alors, vous pouvez commenter ou donner des questions dans la section de commentaires. So, if you're not subscribed to the channel, si vous n'êtes pas encore membre de notre émission, vous pouvez faire ça. Il y a un bouton en bas pour devenir membre. You can subscribe down below. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. The thumbs up. If you're enjoying the content, give us a thumbs up. That helps us as well. But the more people we get following the channel, the better. We're trying to get to 500. It's taking a while, but we're slowly getting closer and closer. I think we're about 25 or 30 away from 500 at the moment. So, nous sommes proches de notre but de 500 membres. Je pense qu'il en reste encore une trentaine de membres qu'on a besoin. Alors, ça nous aide beaucoup ici à Recliner Sports. Alors, si vous voulez devenir membre, vous pouvez pousser sur le bouton en bas. So yeah, so I don't see any questions or comments coming there, guys. So maybe I will pop into the scoreboard. Maybe that will generate a little bit of conversation, and then we can progress from there. So here you have the scoreboard. As I said, a 4-1 victory for the Montreal Canadiens over the Las Vegas Golden Knights. A big win for the team. Solid, especially when you consider the injuries and some of the adversity the team has gone through over the last couple of weeks. They obviously had their struggles, and now, again, I'm not going to say they're back on track. I think, we've discussed in the past, consistency is something that is difficult to maintain for a young hockey team, and we're hoping that is what we're seeing from this team now. It's similar to last year where there's been some ups and downs, but tonight certainly was an up for the Canadiens. They opened the scoring on a goal from Zachary Bolduc in the first period on a delayed penalty call. Spectacular pass from Juraj Slafkovsky. Just, his skill and talent on display on that one. From the far boards, he just fires a rocket of a pass across the ice and across the crease, past at least 3 Las Vegas defenders. And just, a spectacular pass, a bit of a high-risk pass. But again, when you're on a delayed penalty, you can afford to do that. Right onto the stick of Zachary Bolduc, and Bolduc was able to put the puck in the net. He made no mistake. And the Canadiens led 1-0 after the first period. The shots were very strongly in favor of Las Vegas in that first period, 11-6. But you have to keep in mind that the Canadiens killed off a Golden Knights penalty in that first period, where I believe Las Vegas had 7 of their shots in that power play. So when you're looking at the shots on goal in tonight's game, keep that in mind. Again, not that those shots don't count, and they certainly do, especially insofar as Samuel Montembeault's performance is concerned, because he had to make those saves, and he was very, very good tonight. But if you're looking at the shots and you're thinking they look really, really one-sided, they certainly are to one extent. But on the other hand, when you think that 7 of those shots came during one power play in that first period, things even out a little bit in that sense. So the first period ends with the Canadiens ahead 1-0 on the Bolduc goal. Second period, Cole Caulfield with, again, what's become a bit of a trademark kind of goal for him. Alexandre Carrier does a really good job keeping the puck in at the blue line. Zachary Bolduc gets the puck down low to Caulfield, who's standing right down on the goal line, and takes one of those impossible angle shots that he's kind of becoming known for, and puts it in right up under the crossbar over Akira Schmidt's shoulder. And again, Akira Schmidt just kind of like shrugged his shoulders, like there's nothing he could do on that play. It looked like he had the net covered pretty well, but he didn't. He wasn't able to make the stop. And in that period, Caulfield was just on fire. Caulfield had a breakaway, and he had at least probably 3 opportunities to score goals, like strong opportunities to score goals, where he just wasn't able to convert in that period outside of the goal that he did score. And he he was buzzing all over the place during that period. Canadiens head into the third period up by 2 goals, 2-0, despite the shots being 22-11 at that time. They head into the third period. Jake Evans scores at 3:36 of that period. Alexandre Texier makes a nice little, nifty little kind of pass to Jake Evans to send Jake Evans all alone on the breakaway. Evans had a breakaway earlier in the game and wasn't able to complete it, but he was on this particular opportunity. He beat Akira Schmidt and gave the Canadiens a 3-0 lead. Las Vegas was able to get on the board at 15-16 of the third period, right after I received a notification from Apple TV asking me to turn the game on to see if Samuel Montembeault would get a shutout, breaking every hockey superstition and tradition that you could possibly imagine. As soon as I saw that notification come across my phone, I almost threw my phone across the room. I was very upset about it. And sure enough, about a minute and a half later, Mark Stone scored a goal from Mitch Marner and broke the shutout and made the game 3-1, gave Las Vegas a little bit of life with about 5 minutes left in the game. They were down by 2 goals. They pulled their goalie. They did get some pressure in the Canadian zone, but the Canadiens certainly did a good job of controlling that and eventually getting an empty net goal from Juraj Slafkovsky, whose name I've spelled incorrectly on the scoreboard there. My apologies for that. Slafkovsky on an empty net goal. Suzuki did much of the work, carried the puck into the Las Vegas end, or chased the puck down into the Las Vegas end, got it behind the net, worked the puck behind the net, and was able to get it in front to Slafkovsky, who banged it in. At that point, Las Vegas was just kind of like collapsing on their own net, but Slafkovsky was able to get the goal in the empty net. That was his 7th of the season. A solid game from him tonight. He looked really, really good all over the ice. So, yeah, that was it for that for the scoring. That was 4-1 at the 18:03 mark of the period. The Canadiens were able to hold off Las Vegas the rest of the way. and they came out with a 4-1 victory, as we've already mentioned. So I'll go to, I guess there's still no comments, guys, in the comment section. If you have questions or comments, please feel free to put them in the comment section. I'm happy to answer everybody's questions and maybe start a conversation about the game. But until we get some comments, I'll just continue going here. So we look at the scoreboard, and it's kind of it tells a couple of different stories here, really. On one hand, it tells us a story where Vegas certainly had more shot opportunities and shots on goal than the Canadiens did, with the 75-41 on the Corsi tally. But if you look at even strength, that number becomes 65-41. So like I said, 10 of the shot attempts from Las Vegas came on that one power play, as did 6 or 7 of their shots came on that one power play in the first period. The shots on goal were 30-19. I believe that's actually been updated now to 31-19. The Canadiens dominated the hits department. It ended up a lot closer at the end of the game, being 20-15. But a lot of those hits from I believe it was something like 18-5 or 18-6 maybe after the second period. The face-off wins, again, Vegas dominated that department 32-22. The Canadiens had almost as many high-danger chances as the Vegas Golden Knights did, 16-14. So despite the shot attempts being highly in favor of Las Vegas, the actual high-danger chances, the real scoring opportunities, were much more even, and the expected goals, in fact, favored Montreal. The expected goals were 4.23 to just 3.61. So despite the fact that Vegas, perhaps possessed the puck a little bit more than the Canadiens did, and certainly aimed more shots towards the Canadiens' goal, the quality of the shots the Canadiens were getting and the opportunities that they were getting to score certainly were better than what Las Vegas was putting up. So that is the scoreboard for tonight, guys. Again, I welcome your questions and comments. Si vous avez des questions ou des commentaires, j'aimerais bien vous répondre. J'aimerais bien avoir une conversation. Alors, vous pouvez demander vos questions, donner vos commentaires dans la section de commentaires. A couple of things to talk about tonight, I guess. Alexandre Texier playing his first game as a Montreal Canadien. I thought he looked okay. He played a little over 11 minutes and 16 seconds. He made a nice little play on the Jake Evans goal. He looked like he fit in quite well on that line, playing with Evans and Anderson. I think to play with those guys, you have to adapt your style a little bit. They're not going to be a bunch of run and guns. They're more of a dump and chase kind of line. Get the puck in deep. Let Josh Anderson use his speed, his forechecking. Let him win some pucks, and then then you can set up from there. But it looked like he adapted quite well to playing on that line. I thought he looked comfortable with those guys, and I thought he made some nice plays. Again, I had no complaints with the way Alexandre Texier played tonight. Again, it's no affront to Jared Davidson, who I thought acquitted himself well in his first trip up to the NHL level. I thought he played well, but I think Texier brings a little bit more experience, and he brings a little bit more. He's got more speed. He's got a little bit more skill than a Jared Davidson. Jared Davidson perhaps brings a little bit more jam, a little bit more grit, and that kind of thing. But I think Texier looks like he could be. Again, it's hard to tell after one game, but maybe we'll. He looks like he certainly will be able to contribute in that bottom six role. So I look forward to seeing how that continues to move forward, at least until we see Kirby Dach get back in the lineup, which hopefully will be not too long from now. So, that's the first thing I think I want to talk about is Texier's performance. We can talk about the Mike Matheson contract as well. Mike Matheson signing a 5-year contract with an annual AAV or an annual value of $6 million a year. I think it's a great contract. I know there's still some Mike Matheson haters out there. I'm not sure why people are Mike Matheson haters at this stage. I don't think that there's any reason to be a Mike Matheson hater. I think he's done everything he's been asked to do since he joined the Canadiens several years ago. And I think this is a great contract that will see him be a part of the team for the next 5 years, which I think is, well within the range of time that, I think he can still contribute. Yes, he's probably going to, his role on the team will diminish and will decrease. I think over that period of time, I think you'll slowly see him get less and less ice time and play, a less prominent role. Perhaps he slides down to the third pairing at some point as some of the younger guys enter the lineup and some of the younger guys get a little bit more experience. Caden Gooley's going to get more experience, and you're going to see Jack-Eye and Struble if they're still around, and Reinbacher and maybe Engstrom, depending on who's still around. Again, I think that Mike Matheson brings a lot of veteran leadership. He brings a lot of experience. He brings a calm, steadying force to their defensive core. And, he's a good role model for those younger guys. And, I think it'll be nice to have him as a veteran presence within the defensive group for the years to come. And, like I said, I see him gradually working his way towards sort of being a David Savard kind of role, like the role that David Savard played on the team last year. I don't think he'll obviously move into that role right away. I think he still has more to give, but eventually I think he starts to move towards that role where he, eventually becomes, somebody who plays on the third pairing and maybe, isn't, getting, he's getting more like 13, 14 minutes a game and not sort of the 24, 25 minutes a game he's getting right now. So, yeah. So if you're over on TikTok, guys, you could join us on YouTube. We're doing a live show on YouTube. Come on over, ask your questions over there. I unfortunately can't pay attention to the comment sections in both of the apps. So if you're interested in joining us, come on over to the YouTube app, subscribe, and feel free to post your questions over here and your comments. And we'll be happy to have a conversation and to discuss things. But yeah, things are pretty quiet here right now. Maybe everyone's eating turkey down in the States, or with this 8 p.m. Start on a Friday night, maybe everyone's out partying, having a good time. So, but we'll continue with the show. In any event, I'll do my best to carry the conversation without your questions and your comments. But again, if you have any, feel free to post them and let us know what you thought of the game and what you thought of the various players and their performances during the game. So now I think it's a good time to get to our A team, guys. The A team is our version of the stars of the game. We do 4 selections. These are the players on the Montreal Canadiens that I thought contributed the most to, in tonight's case, their victory. These are the players of the game, the stars of the game, the biggest contributors, and the ones who I thought, did the most to help the team tonight. And it was hard to pick them tonight, to be honest, because there were some worthy players, I think, who I left off tonight's A team. I think the 4 that I did pick are probably the best picks. There's one guy in particular who I'd like to have on there, but let's get to them here before, and then we'll talk about it. So. So there you have it, guys and girls. Your A team for tonight is Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, and Zach Bolduc, the entire first forward line, and Sam Montembeault. Again, I think we're looking for an opportunity to give Sam Montembeault some flowers, but I think he more than deserved it tonight. Obviously it's nice to see him performing. And I want to give him some flowers, but this isn't a charity, charity award or anything like that for him. I thought he had a great game tonight. 26 shots on goal tonight. Sorry, that's not correct. That's only on 5-on-5 and even strength. What do we got here? Is this not updated? Why is that not updated? That's weird. We update that. And let's go down here. Pardon me for one moment. Yeah, 30 shots against, 29 saves. Expected goals tonight were 3.61, and he only allowed the one goal. So, he's 2.6 goals above, saved above expected. His save percentage tonight was .967. He faced 8 high-danger shots. The one goal he did allow was on a high-danger shot. He was 9 for 9 on medium-danger shots and 11 for 11 on low-danger shots. So, a great performance for Sam Montembeault, who has struggled so far this season. So it is nice to see him back in form. Again, one game does not mean he's back. It just means he had one good game, and we'll hopefully see him carry that into his next start, which probably will be next week sometime. I think that Dobesh will almost certainly, I think he's already been announced as the starter for tomorrow against Colorado. But again, much like anybody who really knew what they were talking about was saying, Sam Montembeault was going to figure it out. He wasn't going to struggle all year. He would eventually improve. He would eventually find his game. And, the people who were panicking and the sky was falling and they were freaking out and, sometimes you just need to accept that players are not going to be perfect all the time and that they're going to struggle and that things aren't going to always go their way. And, that's the way it was for Montembeault for the first, I don't know how many games it was, but, the first 20-ish games of the year. And, he's a good goalie. He's proven it in the NHL. He's, knows what he's doing. And, it was only a matter of time before he figured it out. And again, one game doesn't mean that he's figured it out. It just means that, he had a good game. And certainly one good game is better than another bad game. And we'll see how that translates into the rest of the season and certainly his next start, which I would say is probably going to be either against Ottawa next week or in one of the other games the Canadiens play next week. So I said the first line tonight, I think the first line looked really good. Cole Caulfield in particular, I thought had a really, really good game. Like I said, in that second period alone, he could have had probably 3 or 4 goals. He did manage the one goal on the snipe shot that he put over the shoulder of Akira Schmidt. I thought he looked really good on that play, but he also set up the first goal. He got an assist on that first goal by Bolduc, the nice pass by Slavkovsky, and he had a number of other opportunities. He just was skating around really, really well tonight, and I think they said it's a sixth consecutive game with at least 1 point, so he's got a point streak going. So we'll look for him to keep that going. Nick Suzuki again. Nick Suzuki was Nick Suzuki tonight. I think. I considered putting Juraj Slavkovsky on the A team tonight. I think he definitely deserved it. But Suzuki, for the second game in a row, has looked really, really good. He looks like he's now finally fully recovered from that, I don't know what you would call it, an injury or whatever it is, when he blocked that shot against the Flyers. He looked like he was struggling a little bit with his skating ever since then. But the last couple games, he looks like he's back to his old self, and certainly looked like he... certainly looked like he was back to his form and certainly doing his thing with Zachary Bolduc and Cole Caulfield. And of course, Zachary Bolduc, I think, who is reaping the benefits of being up on that first line right now, seems to be a little bit more comfortable out there and has certainly played better since joining that line. Again, another goal tonight. That's goals in consecutive games. He had a goal and an assist, so he had 3 points. On, was it Wednesday night they played, or Thursday night? Wednesday night, I think it was, against Utah. So 3 points against Utah and another 2 tonight. So that's 5 points in 2 games for Zachary Bolduc. So again, a pretty impressive performance for him. As I mentioned, honorable mention for tonight probably would go to Juraj Slavkovsky. A goal and an assist, obviously the empty net goal. It's easy to say that an empty net goal doesn't really have much value, but the empty net goal tonight certainly did, where there was some hustle involved. The Golden Knights were threatening a little bit, and they were putting a little bit of pressure on the Canadiens, but again, just having Slafkovsky even on the ice in that scenario was an interesting situation because typically he's not somebody that Martin St. Louis would rely upon in that situation. He's not somebody who is normally on the ice in the late minutes of a close. Well, it wasn't really a close game at that point. I guess it was 3-1, but still, with the goalie pulled and the other team playing 6-on-5, Slafkovsky isn't one of the guys that you typically see out there in that situation. So it was nice to see that the coach trusted him to be out there, and that he paid the coach back or lived up to the expectations or the role that the coach gave for him, and was able to put that puck in the net. And again, it wasn't just one of those empty net goals where he shot the puck from his own face-off circle. He got down the ice, followed up the play, got himself open, and kind of muscled his way into scoring that goal. So I thought he deserved some credit as well. But Bolduc, again, 5 points in 2 games. Hard to leave him out. And Suzuki and Caulfield were just really, really, really good tonight. Again, there, when you look at, I know a lot of people don't like the advanced stats, but you're talking about players who, in all situations tonight, expected goals for Suzuki at 87%, Slafkovsky at 80%, Veleno at 77%, and Caulfield at 75%. And so, despite the fact that the other team was getting more shots and more shots towards the net, those 3 or 4 guys, put up some pretty gaudy numbers. And I mean, there's like 9 Canadiens who are above 60% on expected goals tonight. Expected goals percentage. You got Florian Jacki, Jaden Struble, Zach Bolduc, Arbor Jacki, Mike Matheson, Brendan Gallagher, Cole Caulfield, Joe Veleno, Juraj Slafkovsky, and Nick Suzuki, all at 60% and above on expected goals for percentage. So that's pretty impressive against a team like Las Vegas, right? They weren't playing a bunch of scrubs out there tonight. They're playing a pretty solid team. So that's it for the A team, guys. If you have any thoughts on that, if you think I've royally messed things up, then let me know in the comment section. If you think that there's guys that belong on the A team that I ignored, or guys that I put on the A team that don't belong there, then I'm happy to hear it, and happy to address it and to talk to you about it. I mean, like I said, tonight was not the easiest group to pick because there were so many worthy players. So those are the members of the A team. Again, if you're watching in a replay, I'm happy to hear your comments as well. So whether you're watching live or in a replay, let us know what you think. Let's do a quick out of town scoreboard, guys. The Leafs and the Capitals are tied at 2. Beauvillier and McMichael for Washington, and Nyes and Riley for Toronto. There's about 5.5 minutes left in that game. The Jets and the Hurricanes lead 2-1 with 8 minutes left in the third. The Hurricanes with 27 shots on goal, the Jets with just 12. Martinook and Jarvis have the goals for Carolina, and Scheifele has the lone Winnipeg goal. The Penguins and the Blue Jackets. Penguins lead 1-0 in the first period. There's about 12 minutes left in the first period. Sidney Crosby with his 14th of the year for Pittsburgh. We got some finals. The Lightning 6, the Red Wings 3. Comfer, Rasmussen, Larkin with the Red Wings goals. Hagel, Gensel, Yanni Gourde with 2 goals. Gage Gonsalves with a goal. And Darren Radish for the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Rangers beat up on the Boston Bruins 6-2. Panarin, Soucy, Zibanejad with 2 goals, and Alexis Lafreniere with a goal, and Vladislav Gavrikov. And the 2 goals for the Bruins, Morgan Geekie with his leading 18th of the season, and Casey Middlestat. The Wild beat the Avalanche in a shootout. So again, the Avalanche lose, but they still only have the 1 regulation loss because this was in a shootout. They lose 3-2. McKinnon and Landeskog for the Avalanche, and Kaprizov had 2 goals for the Wild, and Matt Boldy had the shootout winner to give the Minnesota Wild the 3-2 win over the Avalanche. So that's going to be a little bit interesting. I mean, they'll have a bit, they'll be a little pissed off, I guess, as the Canadiens head into to Colorado tomorrow to take on the Avalanche. The Devils beat up on the Sabres 5-0. The Sabres actually outshot the Devils 42-23, but the Devils win 5-0. Hischier, Gritsuk, Dillon, Cotter, and Gritsuk with his second. So Gritsuk with 2 goals. Ivan Demidov's old line mate or former line mate with the SKA St. Petersburg team last year, looking pretty good with the New Jersey Devils. The Flames 5, the Panthers 3. So again, the Panthers struggling a little bit, losing to the Flames. The Flames get goals from Kuznetsov, Uyghur, Frost, Kadri, and Joel Farabee. Meanwhile, the 3 goals for the Panthers came from Brad Marchand, Sam Bennett and Evan Rodriguez. The Flyers 4, the Islanders 3 in a shootout. Forster, Couturier, Zegras for the Flyers, Heineman, Schaefer, and Anders Lee for the Islanders. And the shootout winner came from looks like Travis Konechny. Yeah, the NHL.com have their scoreboard screwed up a little bit on that. The Blues knock off the mighty Ottawa Senators 4-3. The struggling St. Louis Blues pull off the win, comeback win against the Senators. Sundqvist, Kyrou, Buchnevich, and Kessel, Matthew Kessel, with the goals for the Blues. Perron and Zetterlund and Pinto with the Ottawa Senators goals. Again, the Senators lose 4-3 to the St. Louis Blues. Of course, you had the Canadiens beating the Golden Knights 4-1. The Ducks winning another shootout over the LA Kings 5-4. Laferriere, Fiala, Turcotte, and Edmondson for the Kings, and the winning Anaheim Ducks get goals from Kreider, Olin Zellweger, Pavel Minchukov, Leo Carlson, and the Troy Terry gets the shootout winner for the Anaheim Ducks. And the Sharks finally, 15 games tonight, guys. Busy schedule in the NHL. The Sharks, 3-2 final over the Canucks. Will Smith, William Eklund, and Adam Gaudette for the Sharks, and Brock Besser and Elias Pettersson for the Vancouver Canucks. So that's the story as far as the scores from out of town go for tonight. You want to look at the standings. The Canadiens currently sit in second place now in the Atlantic Division, 3 points behind the behind the Tampa Bay Lightning. Tampa has 32 points. The Canadiens have 29. The Canadiens do have a game in hand. They are ahead of the Ottawa Senators by 1 point, also with a game in hand. So the Canadiens have a 667 points percentage. A 630 points percentage. Tampa has a 667, and the Senators have a 583 percentage. So the Canadiens sit firmly in a playoff spot on American Thanksgiving weekend, which a lot of people will tell you is a bit of a milestone in the season, and so they're firmly in a playoff spot heading into the holiday weekend. The Devils, of course, lead the conference with 33 points. They're 4 points ahead of Montreal. The Hurricanes are next with the Lightning are next with 32, and then you've got the Hurricanes 1 point ahead of Montreal as well, and the Canadiens have 29 points, same as the Philadelphia Flyers. The wild card teams right now are the Islanders and the Capitals, but it is pretty close. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Buffalo Sabres are bringing up the tail with 22 and 23 points respectively, and so they're only Toronto is only 5 points out of a playoff spot, despite being at the bottom or near the bottom of the standings. The Sabres are only 6 points out of a playoff spot. So things are pretty tight in the East. A little bit more separation in the West with Colorado running away with things. 17-1-6 is Colorado, putting together a pretty amazing performance so far this year. And the Canadiens will go up against them tomorrow. They've yet to lose a game at home. They're 9-0-2 at home. The Canadiens, by the way, are now 7-2-2 on the road. So Canadiens have a pretty solid record. I actually kind of like the idea of the Canadiens playing on the road because they tend to do well on these road trips. And I think when you have a young team, it can somehow galvanize the group a little bit, right? They're traveling together. They're a bunch of young kids. We know that Ivan Demidov and Lane Hudson are roommates. And so, as I've said before, anytime those two kids spend together talking about hockey, I think it's a positive. And, when they're on the road, I think they spend a lot of time together. I think they spend a lot of time together either way. But, being on the road and being roommates, I think sort of lends itself to those two guys gaining from each other's experience and learning from each other. And, those are two pretty sharp, smart, intelligent hockey kids who, both love the game of hockey. And I think anytime they're hanging out together, spending time together, I think it's a positive. So, I'm happy to see them doing well on the road. The Canadiens, by the way, right now they've got 80 goals for in the season and 80 against, so they're breaking even on that. The magic number is three or more goals for per game and 3 or less goals against per game. So 3 times 23 is 69. Is that right? So at the moment they're well ahead of schedule with respect to goals for, and they're a little bit behind schedule when it comes to goals against. They're 11 goals ahead of the game for goals for, and they're 11 behind for goals against. So so that's going to sum it up, guys. I know there's absolutely no conversation tonight. We got no questions, no comments at all. Not much interaction in the group. I know a lot of you, or some of you, are probably still over watching Coach Frenchie, who probably is still live. But yeah, I mean, without any questions or comments, I think that's pretty much it for me. I don't think there's really much more to say. Maybe next time we'll get a few more of you in here to join in and to throw some questions my way. Ça va être tout pour ce soir, je pense. On n'a pas eu beaucoup de participation dans les questions et les commentaires. Peut-être la prochaine fois, on va avoir plus de participation, plus de questions, plus de commentaires. But that's going to be, I think, it for tonight, guys. Again, the Canadiens do, they're back on the ice tomorrow. They're probably already on their way to the airport for their flight to Colorado, and they'll play tomorrow afternoon. I believe the game is at, what's the game time tomorrow? I think it's the same. I think it's 5 p.m. tomorrow. Let's see. 3 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. my time, so it's a little bit earlier tomorrow. They will play the Avalanche, and I think you'll see Jakub Dobeš in goal. Just in case you're wondering, guys, Michigan leads Harvard 2-0. Let's see what the goals are. No points so far for Michael Hage. He is centering their second line with Will Horkoff and Nick Moldenauer. He has 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 shots, and he has won 3 of 4 faceoffs he's taken. So still looks like he hit the post on 1 shot here. I'm just looking at the play-by-play of the game. It looks like he has a shot off the post in the first period. And then, of course, we also have Logan Sawyer, who is on the ice for Providence College, but they won't get underway for another hour or so. So that's pretty much all we have to talk about for tonight, guys. I wish there was more. I wish you guys were a little more talkative tonight. We could have a little bit more of a conversation, but maybe next time, maybe tomorrow, we'll get a little bit more going. If you are watching on a replay, again, I do my best to answer all of your questions, whether it's during the show or afterwards. So feel free to let me know if you have any questions. Si vous avez des questions, vous regardez l'émission après qu'on ait fini. Vous pouvez demander vos questions. Je ferai mon mieux pour répondre à vos questions ou dans la section de commentaires ou demain pendant la prochaine émission. So yeah, either way, guys, tap that screen. Give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying the show. If you like the content, give us a thumbs up. Si vous aimez le contenu, donnez-nous un pouce en haut comme ça, un thumbs up. Alors, vous pouvez aussi pousser sur le bouton pour devenir membre de l'émission. You can hit the button down below and become a subscriber as well. All of those things really do help us grow and help us grow our community. And, we are trying to build a place where we are building a place, and we do have a place where people can come and talk about the Canadiens and talk about the game, in an objective and intelligent manner and still have a little bit of fun. But, that's going to be it for today. I hope that you did enjoy the show. And I certainly did. I enjoy doing this. I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you guys about it. But again, I much prefer to have conversations with you guys. So next time, maybe we'll get a few more questions and comments. But that's it for tonight. I hope that you did enjoy. We will see you in the next one. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. It's Friday. It's only 8:30. The Canadiens are already done. So you can definitely go out and grab a six-pack of beer or something and have a good time. The night is young, so have a good time and stay safe, and we will see you in the next one. Peace out.
To Hoffman, Monahan parked in front, docks a Caulfield, fire, scores!
You are about to enter Habs After Dark